Hi everyone, Michael Young, Insight. I'm the CEO of Insight. We're a technology company that uses data analytics and AI to actually help you to kind of navigate the landscape and understand what type of solutions are out there. And I'm sure you've seen all morning, even Alan talking about it, trying to navigate the complexities of what's out there, what's compatible with my building, what's actually, the best solutions that actually fit together, what's actually compatible with my needs. It's a real challenge, right? It's a real challenge. So what we've actually tried to come up with is actually use a much more data-driven, informed decision-making process that actually helps you to actually use data and AI to actually be able to help you understand what type of solutions are best compatible with your needs and your building. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to show here today is, and look, it is quite high level, is to show you how we actually use quite a lot of established techniques that are actually out there in the industry, in other industries, but not necessarily in the built environment, right? Like you were saying, Al. So data methodologies like the ecosystem and the data lifecycle, and how those methodologies can actually be applied and combined with technologies now to actually help us make much more smarter decisions. And a lot of what you're going to see today is actually around smarter buildings and actually enabling buildings to be smarter. Dovetails nicely with what Killian from CISC was talking a little bit about as well. But if you have any questions as I go along, please jump in and ask. So just to kind of give people a little bit of background and talk about data complexity, right? Because again, we saw it this morning, it's all moving so fast. Okay, and even 15, 20 years ago, and my background's mechanical engineering and facilities and automation. I worked at Intel for a long time before moving over to applied computing. But a lot of the, even 15, 20 years ago, data was really just used for control and management, right? Controlling core applications or systems within buildings, building management system, access and control. But really what's after happening with the acceleration and interconnectivity and cheaper devices and IoT, there is so much more, and even more SaaS applications now that we can use to start interpreting and using data and managing data and moving away from paperless as well. Mm-hmm. But really what's after happening is that all this data can now be used to start give us business intelligence, insights into what's actually going on in our business, okay? What type of energy patterns, energy consumption we're using. IBM talking this morning about, logging equipment performance, fault codes, and trying to gather all that data so we can track, how equipment is performing and what equipment is likely going to fail. But really then, and as if that's not enough, okay, all that data can now be used to provide predictive intelligence. And if there's one thing that you kind of take away today from my presentation is that's what AI is. At least that's my interpretation of it, Alan, is that they're programs that learn from data. And we have all this data now, and if it's structured and available, we can actually use it to provide this predictive intelligence. But look at the challenge. Look at the landscape. It's incredibly complex. You even saw Killian there talking about the smart building that CISC have above in City West. You see how many different types of systems they actually have. And how do they all fit together? How do they all work with my building? How are they compatible with my actual needs? So I'm going to show you something here, okay, in the next few minutes, which is actually a way that you can actually apply some data methodologies to now actually make more data-driven informed decisions around what type of solutions we should actually go out and choose. Okay? And I know I'm harping back to Killian's presentation, but it resonates a lot with this. One of the first things he started with, and he spoke about it as digital transformation, because that's what it is. It's a digital transformational journey within that building. But he said the first thing they sat with the client was, or with themselves, because they were the client, is to understand what are the business needs or the business priorities we want to actually get out of this digital transformation. And digital transformation has to start with that. It has to start with what is your business need. Not the technology, not buying the Salesforce and letting it reside in it. It has to start with what is the need we're trying to achieve. So I'm going to show you an example. If we take energy efficiency and improving energy efficiency and looking at what type of solutions we should actually have for energy efficiency within a building, we'll apply this process, this data methodology of looking first at the data ecosystem. What are the main types of contributory factors or systems, devices or equipment that in some way interact with data that can help us improve energy efficiency within a building? You've heard of a lot of them. You've seen a lot of them, right? Electricity smart meters, a building management system. Is there historical energy data? First of all, we want to identify what all those different types of capabilities are. Then what you do is you look at the data life cycle. And this is something I don't hear applied a lot in the construction environment in the industry that we're in. Haven't heard it mentioned at all today, but it's very important. Actually, Killian did mention the mapping the flow of data through the building, so he did touch on it. You have to map the flow of data through the building. You have to see, do we have the capability, first of all, to collect data within the building? Do we have the capability then to be able to manage it, i.e. aggregate it centrally, store it, secure it, make it accessible, that we can query it? Then do we have the capability to analyse it? And ultimately, are we getting actionable intelligence out of our data? And this is so important because sometimes I see, again, people investing in developing a new building, they're putting so much money into new sensors and temperature and humidity and air quality and occupancy. They're collecting so much data, but it just sits there. Right? They're doing nothing with it. So it's very important to look at what capabilities and also how they're addressing the data lifecycle. And only then can you really map the flow of data through the environment or through the building. What this allows us to do, and hopefully I have time to show you a quick demo, allows us then to start applying analytics to start seeing for this specific building, your specific criteria, where the specific gaps and the specific capabilities now reside based on the data lifecycle and the capability you need for that specific business priority. And as an example here, you know, the algorithms might throw up and say, throw up doesn't sound right, sorry, may actually show you, you know, you're missing a capability around energy data aggregation or energy real-time monitoring or energy predictive capability. It's showing you the specific capabilities gaps that you have based on using those methodologies. And then we can use AI, and we're training models that actually now go out in the market and actually look at different types of solutions and how do they fit with those specific types of capabilities that are now compatible with your particular building. And just for your benefit, it's just using machine learning. Okay, so if we have, you know, something that's got feathers and it's got web feet and it goes quack, it's a duck, right? So if we have capabilities that are specifically missing, they align to a specific type of solution. And that's where you're training and using AI to actually help you be able to make predictive intelligence around what type of solutions. So following this type of process, again, combining the data methodologies and combining analytics and AI, we are actually able to make much more informed data-driven decisions around what type of capabilities should reside in a specific building for your needs for that specific type of building. Any questions on that? I think I have time, just a few minutes just to probably show the platform.
Yeah.
Just pop in here. So, just see, can I get a model select up for you? Hopefully it aligns with what you were saying, Alan. Specific business need, looking to apply.
Would you say there's much difference in, say, the application of AI and data analytics generally within the construction industry and the other industry? Is there any real nuance?
I think you and I could probably talk about loads of examples of industries, you know, even, I look at Tesco's, I look at Paddy Power, I look at the betting firms, how they've adopted technology and predictive algorithms and what they'd use a lot for predictive intelligence. I think our industry has been slow, but I think it is catching up. So what I'm going to do here is just run through and just show you very quickly a high-level example. Just Can, of course, yeah. Better?
Beautiful.
So let me show you. So as I said, it always starts with what the business priority is. So if your business priority, we go into clients and they tell us energy efficiency, sustainability, compliance, tenant comfort, always starts. That always steers the argument or steers the decision-making process around what we're looking to do. So I'm just going to pick here energy efficiency, sustainability, equipment reliability. Now, we can import BIM and building information models and gather a lot of that data, but we typically find, and we found, that a lot of the time, garbage in, garbage out. okay? And it's actually found it's much easier to actually stick with the right stakeholders in the room to really understand from them and ask them, do they specifically have these digital capabilities or not? So for all intents and purposes, it's a questionnaire, right? We sit with them, we don't plug in, we don't have to plug into a building. We can do this in the space of a few hours with some clients. So we gather information on the building, the number of occupants, number of meeting rooms, number of restrooms, skimming through this now, equipment data, HVAC, and then specifically asking around things like, do they have specific digital capabilities, like for work orders, for equipment maintenance, right, which you get in a CMMS, like IBM Maximo or a CAFM system. We're here all the time with the questionnaire we've tailored. We're actually really drilling into the detail around, do they have the digital capability? And we know their digital capabilities that impact different parts of the data lifecycle. So let me show you an example of what type of analysis we get when we actually, let me do one here. And just show you very quickly the analysis, and hopefully now this will make sense based on what we discussed previously. So what we get is a heat map. If I just skim really quickly, you can see how long it is, and I'm not going to go through it in detail, but what it is going through each digital capability. Is it present within your building or not? Is it compatible with your building? Because we're not going to say you need to have digital capabilities like gas submetering if you don't use gas. Is it compatible? So are the dependencies there? Are all the necessary prerequisites there? So if it's predictive modeling around energy you're doing, are you first of all collecting a lot of information around energy? Right? And do you not have the necessary infrastructure? So we're checking to see all the capabilities. We're even looking at the coverage across the building in terms of these capabilities. But very importantly, you can see where we're looking at the data lifecycle. So electric submeters, for example, great at collecting data, but dumb for analysing or managing your data. That's done downstream. So what you get as you build up this picture is you get to map and see your data lifecycle score for your particular type of building or your particular type of project or facility. So here we can see, very importantly, it's actually balanced, right? So they are actually collecting, managing and analysing and actioning data, but there's a lot more room for improvement. There's a lot of areas within here where you could start adding a lot of other collection and management type of capabilities. And this is where, if I just run the analytics engine, this is just a gap analysis. It's just summarising what I showed you. So for energy efficiency, sustainability and equipment reliability, we can see the size of the gap. So we have a 65% gap here around analytical capability for energy efficiency. We can just run these algorithms and they will automatically now start to identify for your specific building, it'll identify for your specific business priorities the types of digital capabilities you should be adding in each iteration to start improving step by step, bringing you out of the red into the orange, out of the orange into the green, adding gas submeters, adding energy data aggregation, and adding real-time monitoring. Again, all specifically tuned to specifically your needs, and also are they compatible with your building for what you need. So essentially, what we now have is a list of priority capabilities that are not just helping us with one business need, right? Because we can actually run this in parallel across which ones are actually helping us with the most business needs that we've identified. And just to finish, think of all those as key features or key capabilities that our solutions should have. Let me show you here very quickly another building that was actually a smart building, right? Can have a discussion around that term, but this building scored very, very highly in terms of its capabilities to collect and manage and analyse data. But when we actually ran the analysis, and we had the gap analysis, and they were looking across other business priorities like compliance, risk management, supply chain, we were still able to identify specific gaps in their digital ecosystem that still needed to be addressed if they wanted to improve and really get the proper flow of data through this facility. But once we've identified all of these capabilities, we can then put our AI to work, and it will highlight all the key capabilities and features that we now know we need for our specific building. We can run the analysis, and this is where the AI is starting to look at specific type of solutions that we're training the model on, that is now looking for solutions on the market that best combine a lot of those types of capabilities. Because often what happens when you go out and buy solutions, I'm buying a solution for an energy efficiency, or I'm buying a solution over here for sustainability, or something here for compliance. I'm talking to all different sales guys. You're not stepping back holistically, looking at the big picture, how all these actually dovetail and fit together. And a lot of the time, again, like the Salesforce example, you could have 20 solutions across a building when in fact you only need 12. Because there's so much overlapping digital capabilities that a lot of these types of solutions provide. So when we run this AI, it's actually showing us that there's actually an energy management solution that provides 45% of all the digital capabilities we need on that building. Okay, it actually ticks the boxes around energy data aggregation, real-time monitoring, analysis, demand response, load management, and energy predictive modeling. And then there's another solution, a CMMS solution, might be IBM Maximo, I'm not sure, but 39%, right? So bringing all those together, we can actually, with two solutions, provide, 84% of all the digital capabilities we need on that building is across two specific solutions. Okay?
Thank you.
That's it.
Well done, Michael. Thank you.